Democrats fighting to take back control of Congress in the midterms are gearing up to unleash a wave of investigations on this White House with one pretty big objective: accountability. The list of probes include, but are not limited to, his family business ventures, the Epstein files fallout, Trump's makeover of our nation's capital, Trump's war of choice with Iran, the Justice Department under Todd Blanche, and immigration enforcement concerns, just to name a few. Just think of it like this. As MS Now's Kevin Fry puts it, the next 2 years could reveal a lot about the past two. And the list of potential targets is so long that Democrats will likely have to decide which investigations to prioritize. Who better to discuss this than California Congressman Robert Garcia, ranking member of the House Oversight Committee. Congressman, are you already having conversations about how to prioritize that list?
Yeah, we're in planning mode right now. We're having conversations. We're meeting with the team, all of our investigators. Look, the reality, Alicia, there is so much corruption. Where do you start? And I think it's important for folks to note that at the top of our list on the Oversight Committee, as the lead investigations committee in the House, is going to be the Trump crime family. What they are doing to enrich themselves, what Jared Kushner is doing, what the Donald Trump Jr. and the sons are doing, all the properties, the investment funds, the money from Middle East countries while they're doing diplomacy, the crypto scheme, the pardons. I mean, the list is endless. So there will definitely be a lot to investigate. But there's other initiatives, of course, whether it relates to Jeffrey Epstein, which will be important, whether it relates to the abuses of ICE and DHS and some of the pay to play that we believe is happening. All of that is on the table.
Politico notes that you and Congressman Jamie Raskin, as you just said, are putting corruption related to Trump, to his family, front and center. And I wonder how you square the appetite for that accountability, particularly the appetite among the Democratic base, with some of what we've seen in these Democratic primaries. I'm sure you've seen the headlines. A lot of folks are sort of dubbed resistance 1.0 Dems are not winning their primaries. I think there are a lot of reasons for that, but I do think there's sort of this tension between helping voters understand that as much as this is retrospective and looking back, it's also about prospective accountability and making sure this never happens again.
One thing that I say at town halls and at community meetings here back home in California is I tell folks that, look, we're going to have a lot of forward-looking ideas as Democrats when we win the majority, and that's important. But our job on oversight and the job of the caucus is also to hold people accountable. We can't just move forward and pretend that these crimes, these attacks on our democracy and the attacks on our institutions didn't happen. There has to be accountability or there is no moving forward. And our base and folks folks that I talk to, even including independents and folks that are really soured on Trump, they agree. They want us to go after the criminals, the cowards, the folks that have attacked our government. And it's important to note that people are frustrated now with the president, who, and many of these folks who may have supported him, who they thought were going to have their prices lowered. But gas is up, groceries are up, their rent's going up. And so we want to ensure that we focus on affordability, but hold those accountable that are enriching themselves at the cost of the American taxpayer.
Congressman, you demanded Chairman James Comer bring AG Todd Blanche to testify in front of your committee. Have you gotten any response from Comer that he's willing to do that?
Look, well, he for the last few weeks has been saying that he's going to bring Todd Blanche in if confirmed. And so we just recently reached out again, made it official, said, Chairman Comer, you've said you're going to bring him in. Where is he? And so we're waiting for a date and response from the DOJ. And we expect Comer to bring in Todd Blanche as he promised. And we expect Todd Blanche to be in front of the Oversight Committee. We have an Epstein investigation that he has completely botched. He has put survivors and doxed them and put them in danger. I mean, Pam Bondi herself pointed to Todd Blanche as the lead on this investigation. And why is Todd Blanche in Situation Room meetings with the vice president, with Susie Wiles, with the head of the FBI, trying to play cover up for Donald Trump? So it's time to come clean. And it's time for a real investigation into Epstein's crimes and his co-conspirators.
Congressman, I'm not sure if you saw MS Now's reporting. We've learned that Trump aide Natalie Harp worked alongside the president for a year without a security clearance. There were concerns inside the White House about that. Are you concerned? Is it something that you think would warrant a hearing?
We're very concerned. I mean, look, the fact that Natalie Harp is around the president, writes all of his memorandums, oftentimes his social media messages, is a constant presence around the president, and yet is working on highly sensitive issues without the proper clearance. is not only unusual in administration, that leads to major national security concerns. And so we have questions around that, and so do other committees in the Congress as well. I mean, this is someone that has essentially full access to the president without proper clearance. And so that is, again, part of this broader issue of a corrupt administration that is putting this country at risk. And so, yes, we will be looking into this, as will other committees in the Congress.
All right, Congressman Robert Garcia, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us.